games don't need to do much to stand out. Sometimes all it takes is one clever idea that flips the rules on their head and makes you think in all sorts of different ways. Today I want to talk about two indie puzzle games that do exactly that. They're short, creative, and both find unique ways to make you feel like a genius while playing. Gunpoint is a stealth puzzle game from an indie studio called Suspicious Developments. You might also know them from Tactical Bridge Wizards. It is sitting at an impressive 97% overwhelmingly positive score in Steam, so instantly that sets my expectations high. You play as a spy who takes jobs sneaking into these big high-security buildings. You will be tasked with hacking servers, stealing data, but it always boils down to infiltrating places you really shouldn't be in. The fun part is how you actually pull off the infiltration missions. The core mechanic here is called the crosslink system, which allows you to rewire a building's electronics however you want. A light switch doesn't have to just turn on the lights. You can wire it so it opens a door or use it to shut off a camera. It's one of those systems that makes you feel clever. Every level turns into a playground where you can experiment and come up with ridiculous solutions. You do earn money after each mission, and you can spend it on new abilities. Some are essential, the game will let you know when you need them, and you won't be able to start specific missions without them. But a lot are optional perks like being able to kick down doors, break glass silently, or even a handgun if you want a more action-heavy approach. Personally, I leaned on the sneaky puzzle-solving side of things, but I like that the game gives you these options. My only complaint with Gunpoint is that most of the levels felt pretty easy. I only ran into real trouble on a couple of levels, so I think if you're looking for something super challenging, you might walk away feeling a little bit underwhelmed. However, the fun isn't in the difficulty, it's in the freedom of tackling the level your way. You're not just following a strict path, you're coming up with your own goofy, over-engineered solutions. And then there's the writing. It's really funny. Gunpoint has this dry, deadpan humor that reminded me a lot of Police Squad or Leslie Nielsen stuff, which in my opinion is the GOAT comedian of all time. You'll be sneaking around, the character dialogue is funny, the jokes work, and made me laugh out loud more than once. Even the achievements are playful and creative. The whole thing took me about 3 hours to beat. It's short, it's focused, and it doesn't overstay its welcome. It actually reminded me of those old Flash games I used to play in a browser back in the day, and I mean that in the best way possible. Overall, Gunpoint made a really strong impression on me. It's simple, it's clever, and it knows exactly what it wants to be. Plus, that mix of puzzle-solving freedom and dry humor kept me smiling the whole way through. You should play Gunpoint if you are interested in solving puzzles, using your own creative and unique twist, and if you're like me and appreciate the humorous writing. Now, let's talk about Hue. This one's a puzzle platformer developed by Fiddlesticks Games and published by Curve Games. On the surface, it looks pretty straightforward. You play as a boy who, I believe, is searching for his mother, and you are thrust into a world where all the color has magically disappeared. The core mechanic here is also really clever. You can shift the background color of the world, and when you do, anything that matches that color disappears into the background. So, let's say there's a blue box blocking your path. Simply switch the background to blue and the box blends right in, like it was never there. It sounds simple, but the way the puzzles use this idea is brilliant. The game mixes platforming with these tricky color-coded challenges that increase in complexity as you progress through the game and unlock even more colors. Sometimes it's just about timing things up right, but a lot of the time it's about timing and precision. For example, you might need to swap colors mid-jump, so a platform suddenly appears under you, or to make a deadly laser that is coming towards you disappear. It's a mechanic that never gets old, and the puzzle design is consistently smart about how it pushes you to use it. I really appreciated the pacing too. New colors get introduced at a steady rhythm, usually every couple of puzzles or so you unlock a new color. That means you're always learning something new. But you're also given just enough time to really get the hang of each mechanic before the next layer gets added on. Well, it's not really about learning a new mechanic, but learning how to adapt to using more colors and understanding the higher complexity of the puzzle. It's one of those games where the visuals and mechanics feel perfectly in sync. Hue took me about 5 hours to finish, and honestly, I loved the whole journey. The premise is interesting, the core mechanic is unique, and the execution is just spot on. Hue is one of those indie games that reminds me why I enjoy puzzle platformers. If the main idea of color swapping and blending objects into the background sounds intriguing to you, then you should definitely try out Hue. And that's my take on Gunpoint and Hue. Two short, clever indie games that hook you with one neat idea and then give you enough room to play around with it. Gunpoint is sneaky, snarky, and lets you have fun your way, while Hue is calm, gorgeous, and uses a simple idea in the cleverest ways possible. If you liked the video, please consider subscribing. You know what, I could just rewire your mouse to hit the subscribe button on your next left click. Yeah, I think I'll just do that instead. Gunpoint style. Thanks for watching the video, I really appreciate it. Short video this time, but I have a lot more content planned for you guys in the future, so stay tuned and I'll see you on the next one.